If you are a Trump supporting Republican evangelical Christian in November of 2025, you're a racist and you're a bigot and you're a misogynist and you're homophobic and you're transphobic. And I did a duet over on my backup account earlier this evening by a woman who was talking about a study that was recently done of Republican evangelical Christians that demonstrated conclusively that they also hate disabled people, including special needs children. So if you're a Trump supporting Republican evangelical Christian in November of 2025, you are all of those things. And you also hate America. You have absolutely zero interest in this country remaining a democratically governed constitutional republic. You want to be ruled. You do not want to be governed any longer. You do not want to participate in government. You want to pick a theocratic dictator as long as that theocratic dictator is a fat former game show host who has cheated on every single woman he's ever married, who has 34 felony convictions on his record, and who has been adjudicated as a rapist by a federal judge who has, 25 or 30 still pending sexual harassment lawsuits against him, who has monetized the office of the presidency to the tune of somewhere between $5 to $8 billion for him and his two half-smart kids, Eric Jr. and Don Jr., a man who has stated repeatedly on live network television that if his daughter wasn't his daughter, perhaps he would be dating her. A man who for 15 years, his best friend was America's most prolific child molester, Jeffrey Epstein. A man whose company, the Trump Organization, I think it was in November of 2022, his company was found guilty of 17 felonies that were related to fraud. A man who tried to overturn the 2020 election because his ego couldn't handle losing to Joe Biden. A man who engaged in no less than 8 or 9 separate conspiracies that he ran out of the Oval Office to try to overturn the 2020 election, and who incited an insurrection at the Capitol where 150 police officers were severely injured. A week later, 5 of them were dead. And on his first day in office for his second term, he pardoned every single person who had been charged, indicted, convicted, sentenced to prison for those crimes. A man who has violated literally every single one of the 7 deadly sins, but you think he was chosen by Jesus because God works through imperfect vessels. Spoiler alert, that's your racism and your privilege. He wants to fuck his own daughter, and you think he was chosen by God. I have to poop.